A fire that never dies. Streets cloaked in smoke. A once thriving town now abandoned and shrouded in mystery. This is the story of a town that's been burning for 60 years, a place where the ground beneath your feet is as treacherous as the legends it inspires. But how did this relentless fire start? Why have efforts to extinguish it failed? So, are you ready to uncover the truth behind this ghost town turned fiery enigma? Then keep watching. But before that, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos like this one. Centralia, Pennsylvania, a town consumed by fire and time. Centralia, Pennsylvania is one of the most famous ghost towns in the world, not because of gold rushes or economic collapse, but because it has been burning underground for over 60 years. And experts say the fire won't stop for another 250 years. Unlike typical fires, this one isn't raging above ground. Instead, it's slowly consuming the vast coal veins beneath the town, creating toxic gases and sinkholes that have turned Centralia into a wasteland. Today, the streets are nearly empty, often filled with smoke, and little remains of the homes that once stood here. What began as a simple fire is now an unstoppable, eerie force, one that no one could have foreseen. Most ghost towns were short-lived boomtowns that faded when resources dried up. But Centralia's story is different. It was a place where generations lived, loved, and built their lives. Its tragic fate was sealed not by abandonment, but by an unstoppable underground inferno. Centralia's early history. The story of Centralia begins long before the fire. The land was first owned by Robert Morris, a signer of the Declaration of Independence. However, he went bankrupt before developing it. By 1810, the Reading Road, a turnpike connecting Reading and Sunbury, was built through the valley. The area was rich in anthracite coal, and small mining operations soon appeared. In 1831, a man named Jonathan Faust built an inn called the Bull's Head Tavern without permission from the landowner. As mining cabins popped up around it, the area became known as Bull's Head. A decade later, the Locust Mountain Coal and Iron Company bought the land and hired engineer Alexander Ree to develop it. Ree renamed the town Centerville, but since Pennsylvania already had a Centerville, he changed it to Centralia. The town was officially incorporated in 1866, with Ree as its founder. Route 61, once the Reading Road, still winds through the town today. The Molly Maguires and Centralia's dark past. Centralia became a mostly Irish Catholic mining community. The men worked in the mines, prayed at St. Ignatius Church, and drank at the Bull's Head Tavern. But not everything was peaceful. The tavern was a meeting place for the Molly Maguires, a secret society of Irish miners who fought against corrupt mining companies. Some saw them as heroes, others called them terrorists. In 1868, Alexander Ree was murdered by 4 Molly Maguires while transporting the mining company's payroll. The killers escaped justice for a decade before being hanged in 1877. A story of betrayal and murder haunted the town long before the fire. Centralia's history was darkened further by the growing tensions between workers and business owners. The fight for justice didn't end with the hanging of the Molly Maguires. It sparked unrest that would carry through the town's entire existence. Centralia's peak and decline. By the late 1800s, Centralia thrived with a population of 2,800. It had trolley lines, 2 theaters, dozens of saloons, and a bustling railroad. But disasters struck: fires, the 1918 flu pandemic, and the decline of coal mining after World War II. By 1960, only 1,435 people remained. Despite the town's apparent prosperity, darkness was beginning to seep into its future. As the mines became less profitable and the world moved toward more modern industries, Centralia's grip on its former life began to slip away. But nothing could have prepared its residents for the unimaginable disaster that would soon unfold beneath their feet. The fire that doomed Centralia. The catastrophe began on Memorial Day, 1962. The town set a controlled burn in an old strip mine used as a dump. The fire was extinguished, but it kept reigniting because it had reached an exposed coal vein. By August 1962, officials realized the fire was spreading underground. Proposals to stop it were rejected, and half-hearted efforts failed. The fire grew, reaching beneath homes by the 1970s. The ground began to shift. Roads cracked and crumbled. The air became thick with the acrid smell of smoke and toxic gases. The townspeople were slowly becoming prisoners in their own homes. It wasn't just a fire, it was a silent killer creeping under the ground, unnoticed and underestimated. The more the fire spread, the more Centralia became a ghost town. What was once a thriving community became a place of fear, as no one could escape the invisible menace lurking below. And as time passed, it became clear that Centralia was no longer a town. It was a ticking time bomb, its fuse lit long ago. Todd Domboski's near-death experience. On February 14, 1981, 12-year-old Todd Domboski fell into a 150-foot sinkhole that opened in his grandmother's yard. Toxic gases and 350 degrees Fahrenheit steam rushed past him as he clung to a tree root. His cousin pulled him out just in time. This incident proved Centralia was no longer safe. That was the day Centralia's death toll grew to one more. The town had already experienced minor sinkholes, but this one was different. This was no mere pit. It was a sign that the fire had reached a new level of destruction. That single incident forced the government's hand to acknowledge the severity of the situation. It was no longer just a slow disaster, it was a life-threatening crisis. Relocation and the fight to stay Pennsylvania offered $42 million to buy out residents, but many felt cheated by low offers. Some refused to leave, even as the government condemned the town in 1992. By 2009, only a handful remained. Today, 5 people still live in Centralia. Their homes will revert to the state when they die. The battle wasn't just over money, it was over the very soul of Centralia. Many residents refused to abandon the town, unwilling to leave behind their ancestors' homes and memories. But even as they fought to stay, the fire raged on, reducing Centralia to a hollow shell of its former self. The emotional toll of leaving their homes was more unbearable than the ever-present threat of an underground inferno. But slowly, the remaining families were forced to accept the inevitability that Centralia's end had come, and they could no longer hold back time. Centralia today, a ghost town reclaimed by nature. Most buildings are gone, and nature has taken over. Route 61, the graffiti highway, was buried in 2020 to deter tourists. The fire still burns, visible through smoking cracks in the earth. Experts say it could last another 250 years. The ruins of Centralia stand as a grim monument to a town consumed by an unstoppable force. What was once a thriving community is now just a series of empty streets, overgrown fields, and crumbling foundations. The town is slowly vanishing, its memories fading as nature reclaims the land. Yet the fire below never rests, its smoke still rising in the cold Pennsylvania air, a chilling reminder of what was lost. The neighboring ghost town, Burnsville, just south of Centralia, Burnsville was also abandoned due to the fire. Only a Virgin Mary shrine, built by a local family, remains. The once vibrant community of Burnsville now lies in ruins, its homes and businesses forgotten. Yet the shrine remains, an eerie relic of a time long gone, standing in silent defiance of the surrounding devastation. Burnsville's fate mirrors that of Centralia, but its ghostly presence is even more haunting. The shrine serves as a symbol of the faith and hope that once existed, but it also stands as a grim reminder of the irreversible changes brought by the fire that would consume everything in its path. As nature envelops Burnsville, the shrine's presence seems to underscore the tragic fate of the area. No matter how hard you fight to preserve something, nature and time have a way of reclaiming what was once theirs. The story of Centralia is one fire, loss, and the haunting reality of things that cannot be undone. So, what do you think of this fiery ghost town? Could you ever imagine visiting a place like this, or is it best left to the ashes of history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from around the world. Some fires burn out, but this one keeps its secrets alive. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay intrigued, and we'll see you in the next video.